So I'll be doing two different tools. So I will be using the Open Data tool in the website itself, as well as Excel. And how the impact of data is in education, healthcare, and business. So what is the data visualization? So it is a graphical representation of data information. It takes basically a large set of complex data and defines it and efficiently for your viewers to interpret and analyze the data by using either pie charts, graphs, um, any form of visualization. It could be through dashboards, in different dashboards. And it's usually widely used in various fields, including business, science, academia, government, healthcare, finance. So I just want to ask this question to you. What is the significance of data-driven decision making across industry? What do you think the significance is? So if you can like write in the chat, what do you believe the significance is? Yes, they can be a risk management tool, reducing overall costs. Yes, accurate decision making can be a better understanding of customers, um, or even just making sure you have an continuous improvement, right, in your company. So you want to see the flow of how your company is growing. So it is very important that you collect your data from the start and make sure you build on that data to see how your company is growing to the end, right? So some of the real world examples of using data. So there's healthcare. So in healthcare providers use data analytics to improve patient outcomes, reduce costs, optimize resource allocation. For example, predictive analytics can help identify patients at risk of developing certain conditions, enabling early intervention or preventive care. There's retail as well, optimizing product assortment or pricing strategies. And then in financial, use data analysis and algorithmic trading to make investment decisions in real time. These algorithms analyze market data, new sentiment, and trading patterns to execute trades at optimal times and prices. Transportation, optimizing supply chain operations, route planning. It could be something like how the Tesla's autopilot system is, right? It collects, analyzes data from sensors and cameras in real time to enable autonomous driving, right? This data driven approach allows Tesla to continuously improve the safety and performance of its vehicle autonomous features, right? There's education, personalized learning, curriculum development. Um, Data analysis helps educators assess the effectiveness of instructional materials, curriculum programs. They analyze students' performance data, feedback from teachers. Curriculum developers can make data-driven decisions to refine and improve curriculum content, ensuring that it aligns with educational standards and meets the needs of students. Any questions on like what data visualization is or why it's so needed? Okay, I want to spend more time on the portal itself, going over the data sets that are found in that portal. So let me just put in so this is the NYC Open Data Portal. So if you can just click on the link that I provided on the chat, this will open up this portal. So this is the Open Data, NYC Open Data Portal, where we can find various different data sets for free that we can use to create visualizations for today. So either you can do it by agency category, or you can just simply use recently published data sets or even use the popular data sets. So I'm just gonna be using the recently published. And you'll see that there's about 3,500 results for this. And we have various ways we can filter our data according to what type of data or categories we want to see our data in. So if we want to see primarily on health, we can click on health. And you'll see that there's various types of data given to you. Let's say we want to see the COVID-19 milestone data, new cases of COVID-19. So if we click on the link, so the first after you click on it, it will give you a little bit about what the data set is. So this data set will be showing daily confirmed and probable cases of COVID-19 in New York City specifically. It will count the total cases as the sum of daily cases. And you'll see that there's two attachments given to you. There's docs, the user guide, as well as an Excel file. But if you go under data, the data tab, you'll also see the entire data given to you on the web page as well. So you can either use the data set from here, or you can also export the data as an Excel file, Excel CSV file. So I will export it because I do want to show using the same data in Excel how we can visualize our data using Excel itself. But we can also use the NYC Open Data website as a tool to visualize our data. So if you go under actions, there is this visualize tool that Open Data gives, and click create visualization. So one thing that you have to be mindful of, if you do want to save your visualizations, you do have to create an account with NYC Open Data. Otherwise you can use it for free without an account, I mean. So one cool thing is that it automatically knows what data that we're trying to pull from. So it knows that we're trying to use the COVID-19 confirmed cases. So now we can choose what type of columns we need. So let's say I want the 7-day average of confirmed cases. And I can choose the type of chart that I want, either a column chart, pie chart, bar chart, right? So we have to make sure it's depicted visually for viewers, right? It has to be easily visual. So we can check the confirmed cases, and then there's filters. So we can add filters. So do we want to show the total cases, or do we want by date? So right now they have from 2020 to 2021, right? So let's say I want to, and then you can add as many filters as you need along the way. So if you want to do probable cases, you can choose other filters, and it will change the data accordingly, right? So right now there's 59 count of confirmed and probable cases of COVID-19 on 7 days, right? And you'll see there's different colors showing different predictions. And you can also add different hierarchies if you needed. So if you want a second column, and you have all these different graphs to play around with as well. So you have the bar chart, you have column, you can play around with the timeline chart, and even a map. So if you want to show, let's say you have data across all of New York City, right, of confirmed cases. You want to depict it by boroughs, and that's what your data is showing by boroughs. You can say, oh, Queens has this many confirmed cases versus Manhattan versus Bronx or Brooklyn. So if your data set shows it depicts that type of data, you can use a map type of visualization versus a calendar year. And Also, you can play around with how the pie chart is. If you want several different types of slices, you can play around with how many slices you want. So that just limits on how many type of data it will be on that pie graph itself. And then, so that was for your data, right? Data selection. And then now you can change around your axis. So you can choose your axis position. You can put reference lines, and then you can title your chart. So confirmed cases, COVID-19. And then you can provide a little description for others on what this pie chart depicts. You can change around your color scheme of the pie chart and as well as your labels. So if you want to show labels or you don't want to show labels. Usually I do prefer you show labels because it does allow readers to visually see if especially if your axis numbers are not showing. And then you can put your axis titles, so your left axis and your top axis. Sorry, I don't know why it keeps changing. Okay. That was for a bar chart. Then you can choose if you want to show the legend. So right now, this is the legend right over here on the right hand side with the color and depicts how many cases of each. So either if you want to show this legend or not, it's up to you. You can either click yes or no. And one cool thing is that if you hover over each one of them, it will show you a little bit about what it's trying to show. So there's about 3,083 confirmed or probable cases, and then 67. Let me go to another data. And just like this, you can actually find other data sets. So if you want to do it by categories itself, they'll ask you what type of a data set do you want? Do you want it by education? And they'll give you different opportunities like you want to see the SAT results, your school surveys. They have attendance and enrollment statistic reports, graduation outcomes. If you look at your high school directories, sometimes it shows you what is the graduation rates, right? So the rate, they basically find it by taking a lot data across different years and combining that data to find that percentage for that school itself, right? Let's see. Trying to see. So this part, this data set shows the attendance numbers of 2018 to 2019 for schools, and you can even filter it by school DBN. So this is for the open data tool itself. But I do want to show you in Excel how you can also use visualization. So I did download one of the data set, which is basically 2006 to 2011 NYS math test results. So it was given using just plain data, right? Not in a table format. So if you just do Control A on your keyboard, it should select all your data, and then do Control T for table, and then click OK. That should convert your data set to a table. So now you can filter your data accordingly, either by your grades, year. So let's say I want to see, if you do select all, then you can click on the specific grade itself. So currently it's showing all grade 4 test results, and then you can choose a min score. So you can put a number filter on. So if you want a score greater than let's say a 670. So you can put number filters. Let me see. Greater than 670. Click OK. And you'll see that it's filtering our data as we are going through this. And let's do the year. Let's do 2011. Okay. And now we can create either, if you go to the insert tab on your Excel, we have different charts right over here. There's something called recommended charts. These are what Excel recommends you to use depending on the data that you have. But then there's charts over here that are accessible to you. Different types of column charts, 2D, 3D, 2D bar, 3D bar. They have tree maps, 2D line graphs, 3D line graphs, scatter plots, or even the pie charts that we saw before, and histograms. So let's say we want to show, I'm gonna try to minimize this even more. Let me see. Greater than, okay, a little better. Okay, so now we have a reasonable amount of data that we want to see. So it's showing 2011's grade 4 math test results that have a minimum mean scale score of more than 700, right? So now we can use this data to create either a pie chart or a column chart, depending on what we want to show, right? So you can click on columns that you want to show in your graph. So because it's a lot of data in your chart, it is a little harder to see, but you can filter your data again if needed to be. So let's say all right. So right now it's only showing one DBN mode, DBN school, right? 01M184 school district. And you can filter it showing even more, right? So you can add other school districts. So this is the filter icon for the for the chart itself. So you can use this to either filter between like more using it further, right? So we did filter on the table itself, but if you do want to filter the chart even more, this is another way. Make sure you click apply after you click on the choices. And then after you have the chart, you can make some design changes to your chart. So if you click on the chart itself, so make sure you have the chart clicked. You'll see two different tabs will open up, chart design and format. Under chart design, you'll see you can add chart elements, either it be the axes, if you want the primary horizontal axes or the vertical axes. So currently we do want to see the vertical axes because we want to know the mean scores, right? Or the number of people tested. So let's keep the vertical axes. You can put axes titles or chart titles. So currently we do have a chart title here. So you can put in the chart title. You can say 2011 NYS mean scores. You can put data labels. So if you want to show the exact number, like we saw on the Open Data website, so you can put it on here as well. It will put the number next to it. Let me actually remove the year. You can put the legend we already have, it's on the bottom, and then you can put grid lines depending on if you need the horizontal grid lines or minor grid lines. You can change the chart styles from here. And then on format tab, you can add different types of shapes, or if you want to depict certain thing, you want to point out something, you can put a shape in there and put text to depict that as well. So if you remember on the Open Data website, they let us put a description after the title. You can do the same thing here as well in Excel. So if we do have our title, but if you want to put a description for the viewers, you can click on the chart. They call it as alternative text for objects in Excel. So if you click on alt text, you can put a little description for the viewers on what this chart depicts. So this is a little way how you can use Excel to visualize your data. So yes, for Excel, it is a little hard to visualize large sets of data, but there are other tools that you can use other than Excel as well that I will mention a little on my slide. 1 second. Are there any questions using Excel or how you can pull data from the NYC Open Data website for visually impaired? Or so in Excel they do have a mode for that. Usually blind or visually impaired, if you have disability issues, Excel does offer so when they log into Excel, they have a different set on their backend. They have to click something called they have disability issues. So and then it will read out to them what it depicts. So remember when I said to click on that alternative text? So when they go through that graph, right, it will read out to them what it depicts. So like whatever you write in here, they will read it to them for those people. So sometimes when you pull the data sets, they do give like a little user guide on as well. So this user guide, so like the COVID-19 one that we were looking at, they do give a little user guide on what the data set shows. So like the limitations, so the fields, right? They talk about the fields, who manage the data. So sometimes it does give this document in there. So you might find more information on the different fields on there. So I just want to mention there are other tools as well that you can use to visualize your data. So we did talk about Microsoft Excel, but there's something called Google Data Studio as well, which is free if you have a Google account. Which I'll just show minimally how it looks. So this is Google Data Studio. So this also allows you to create take large set of data and visualize your data to create reports. It's free if you have a Google account. So you can use this as well. They have certain templates in here that you can play around with to visualize your data. They have this template called the population simulation template that you can see how world population growth. So you can use Google Data Studio as a tool. There's also if you want to go more advanced, other than Microsoft Excel or Google Data Studio, there's Power BI, Tableau. Those are also great visualization tools. So these are like this picture shows a sample of how something like in Power BI would be able to do. They can create dashboards of different types of visualizations to simply show your data. So each dashboard will be showing different types of data set. So one can show like your total employees, or the other can show your top employees, right? Or one shows your sales versus the target. And this shows the map across the US. So the more advanced software that you use, the more accessibility you have to play around with your data. But these two are, I'm pretty sure you have to pay for these, but these the first two are free. Microsoft Excel, Google Data Studio. So some resources that you can use to learn more about the data visualization is this Cognitive AI. They have a great course on data science that you can do. It's free. You can take the course. You can also receive a certificate from them. After you finish the course on data science, which is really nice. I'll put the link on the chat for for anyone that is interested. And I also really like LinkedIn Learning, which is a free platform if you have a QPL account. So if you have a QPL library card, you can access LinkedIn Learning for free. And they have really good courses on data science and data analytics that you can learn and take classes on, as well as Udemy. They also provide sometimes free courses on data analytics. So if you have a QPL library card, let me show you. If you have a QPL library card, if you just write LinkedIn Learning, please library, and click on the link, put in your library card number and PIN number. Then you can put in your library card number and PIN number, and you can access it for free. Yes, NYPL also offers LinkedIn Learning. Now I'll take any questions that you might have. So let me see. So the first link I have up there is some of the courses where our Tech Lab workshops are listed. This is the QBTL programs presentation. So we update this presentation monthly with our new calendar. We have several different types of workshops. It either be on Microsoft Office or Adobe related workshops. It could be high tech technology related workshops. It'd be computer science, design related, entrepreneurship, job readiness. We offer a variety of workshops at Queensbridge Tech Lab. So this is the link for the QBTL presentation. And the second link is also provides the Open Data Week QPL. So we're offering a few more workshops across the week for Open Data Week. So feel free to join those workshops as well. Make sure to RSVP beforehand. So let me just put those links on the chat as well for you to access. Are there any questions? This is just like an overview on what data visualization is. There's a lot of in-depth into it. So if you want to take like more advanced classes, feel free to look into more classes in Queens Public Library's website. They do offer great courses. It either be intermediate level, advanced level. Yeah, thank you so much for joining. Make sure to RSVP to the future classes. There are a lot of great classes that are being offered throughout the entire week. Yes, so even after the data week is over, they're all you still have access to all the databases and the data sets.